My fellow Americans, this weekend I begin my first trip overseas as president, a trip with historic significance for the American people.
The First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Mr. Young, Mr. Bayh, you've both spent time in Washington, D.C. So much time, in fact, that I'm afraid it's turned you to the dark side.
Clearly, Evan Bayh has become a creature of Washington. He's left us. He really doesn't get it. This is not just about Obamacare. This is how Evan Bayh handled the situation.
The First Amendment. Freedom of speech, religion, press, and assembly. Freedom of speech. The freedom to talk over this documentary and say whatever I want is taken for granted by most. If we just take a glance at other nations, Saudi Arabia for example, you could get locked up for making a documentary about freedom of speech. The fact that I can speak up for what I believe, no matter the opinion of others, with no repercussion is a blessing we all take for granted. But how has freedom of speech helped us? Why do I care? Well, being an active member in local politics, I love to voice my opinion. I want to grow up and help the community through public office. There are plenty of people all across the nation interested in the political system, but don't have enough time to truly get involved. And that is one reason why freedom of speech is important, so we can talk to people about our opinions and give them statistics to support them, and people who oppose that can do the same. Freedom of speech inadvertently increases political involvement, and without it, we would crumble into a non-democratic state in which a select few members of the government pick and choose what freedoms people can and cannot have, a kind of country people are willing to die so they can speak up for what they believe in.
Okay, but it's a personal belief, and for somebody to force you to believe something, even if you don't believe it, is what the difference between church and state was trying to set up.
Okay, we'll get a response.
Yeah,
You're smiling.
Yeah, no, I love that the caller brought in the history of, coming to the United States to build this country that is founded in many ways on the idea of religious tolerance and diversity. And the First Amendment really reflects that balance. We have, on the one hand, the Free Exercise Clause, which ensures that people of faith will be able to exercise their religious beliefs. And then we also have the Establishment Clause, which, as the caller says, prevents a sort of state-mandated view of religion. And so that's the constant balance that we're always trying to strike in this country, is to respect that founding wisdom of religious tolerance and diversity, and at the same time ensuring that believers and non-believers can worship or not worship in the way that they please.
Freedom of religion. Unlike many other nations who govern with religion, America allows you to participate or exclude yourself from participating in whatever religious belief you choose. This is a freedom some people disagree with. This freedom is important to me because it can allow me or someone I know to find someone like them with a similar religious ideology, therefore bringing people together. The American people, especially as of late, have taken for granted their First Amendment right to a free and open press. The fact that I can obtain uncensored and unbiased information in a timely manner is extremely important, because without it, I wouldn't even have the resources to make this documentary possible. How has the First Amendment personally benefited you in your life?
Well, I work for the ACLU of Kentucky, so all of the Bill of Rights is extremely important to me, and it's part of the reason why I do the job that I do. But I definitely think, as a woman and as a person of color, we face a lot of challenges in this country, and I think that there are many great folks who have come before me, Martin Luther King and all sorts of activists who have raised their voice in the face of injustice. There are great protests, the speeches that they've made, petitions that they've made to the government are the reason why I have the freedoms that I do today.
While our First Amendment rights are often contested by numerous parties for numerous reasons, as Americans, we can come together and realize that these freedoms mean a lot to everyone, not just me. Many of the advocates against freedom of speech use that very freedom to voice their concerns. And many advocates against freedom of religion who think the government should run on religious values fail to appreciate that the government cannot suppress that very freedom, and they can still go to whatever church they choose. And advocates against a free and open press, which I agree is not perfect, often use that very platform to express that opinion. These freedoms are vital to our society as a whole, and without them, what kind of nation would we be today?